Good morning to you. This is Talk Breakfast with me, Julia Hartley-Brewer. Thank you very much indeed for your company. Well, Jeremy Clarkson's been upsetting people again. This time, it's not about a column he's written in a newspaper. It's about his farm shop. Of course, this is featured on, well, I was going to say Netflix earlier, but actually, it's actually on Amazon Prime Video. His ongoing series about his diddly squat farm and how at Clarkson's farm, about how he has, documented his career switch to being a farmer. But his farm shop has been very popular. Well, it certainly has with those who want to come and buy fresh produce from it, but not at all with local villagers where he is based, where it's been described as a menace and a success for local people. Interesting choice between those two things during a planning meeting. And villagers have clashed at the meeting about the impact of the business on the Oxfordshire countryside. And of course, this is as Jeremy Clarkson is appealing against the refusal by the council to grant planning permission for an extension to the car park at his shop to have more people come and buy their goods. Let's talk to Olivia Midgley, who's the editor at Farmers Guardian and joins us now. Good morning to you.
Morning, Julia.
Thanks so much for joining us. I have to say, of all the things I would have thought that Jeremy Clarkson would set his heart to and set his mind to, going into farming was not what I expected. There's no doubt at all his diddly squat farm on Amazon Prime Video has been a huge success, and that has meant that an awful lot of people flocked to his farm shop to buy goods. This has not gone down well with local people, with all the traffic that has meant, and they're basically trying to fight him being able to expand the shop and expand the car park. But is this just the age-old problem of, I don't know, a city lad moves to the country and brings problems with him?
Perhaps it might be, yes, but I think what it has done, it's certainly highlighted the vagaries within the planning system and the attitudes of planning boards, which are often at odds with wider policies on economic growth and the levelling up agenda as well. And it's also the levelling up between rural business and, urban areas as well. Farms and rural businesses are, by their very nature and geography, are often best placed for development, such as things like housing, farm shops, as we've seen with Clarkson's farm. We're seeing a massive boost in rural tourism at the moment as well. But the planning system is often seen as a barrier to growth. Yeah. And I think this is a really good example, isn't it, of how those two can clash. And I totally get that planning boards have to take into account the feelings of local people, and that's what's really being played out at the moment.
And we have that, don't we? That sort of NIMBY attitude, don't we? The farmers between Chadlington and Chipping Norton, a beautiful part of the country, but again, quiet roads, quiet villages. People don't want a whole load of, they say, motorheads turning up. But the reality is that these people will be coming, they'll be spending money. Presumably, they're not just turning up out of the blue and just going to the farm shop, although the farm shop providing local employment, but also other people's businesses could do well. The local restaurants, pubs, cafes, other, souvenir shops and the like. We know there's a real problem with rural unemployment, and this will be providing more work for people in an area I would have thought would really benefit. Because when we think of these areas, they're very wealthy, and there's a lot of people with their weekend homes, but actually a lot of rural areas, there's a lot of young people who are priced out of the housing market. There aren't many jobs. To get to a job, you need a regular bus service or your own car. They can't afford that. And the bus services, 2 buses a day isn't going to get you to and from work. So actually, these sort of boosts to local job opportunities can be really useful.
This is really important, isn't it, for economic growth? And like I said earlier, in rural areas, this is tremendously important. These businesses really are the bedrock of rural communities. And, I know Jeremy Clarkson is a massive advocate, probably Britain's unlikeliest farmer, as he's actually confessed. But he has been a fantastic advocate for farming. He actually won our British Farming Awards, flying the flag for British agriculture the year before last. And what he's done is he's really demonstrated the benefits, the wider benefits of farming and what farming could deliver for the economy, for jobs, fantastic careers. I think what he's doing here, he's a real advocate for farming. He is supporting local producers. So through his farm shop, he is not only selling his own produce that he's producing on the farm, but also produce from other local producers.
Yeah, which was, and again, presumably also, if there's people who are coming all that way, you can sell it at massive premium as well, which can't be bad. And we know that farming, I mean, it's really suffered in this country. We know the supermarkets are to have their sort of loss-leading milk and veg, they are often really, really pushing down the amount that they're paying to farmers in this country. And a lot of farmers are struggling. A lot of them simply can't make ends meet. And actually sort of, celebrating British, agriculture is a good thing. We need to be self-sufficient in food. If, when things go horribly wrong, as we have seen in recent years, being able to produce enough food is not a bad thing.
Yeah, and aren't we told time and time again that we need to shorten supply chains, that buying local is best? And here's, a great example of that. And I think that, some council boards, they are in a difficult position. Okay. I think, planning policy probably does need to change to give more weight to economic growth, job creation, but perhaps councillors themselves need some training in some cases and some guidance on how to best evaluate planning applications.
Yeah, very, very good point. And compete with, those competing different interests there. Olivia Midgley, editor at Farmers Guardian, really appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much.